What's up, guys? Back again with another episode of In the Trenches. Today, I'm in Austin, Texas. We're gonna hang out with Gold Eagle Services. We're gonna go install a GE Connect. If you don't know, you about to know. Let's freaking go.
My name is Keating Kuhn with Gold Eagle Services. We've been in business for 8 years now in Austin, Texas, and we're going to do an install today.
AI's even making a nasty entrance into our game.
Of course it is, yeah. At least in some capacity, but you're never going to replace a guy going up into an attic.
No.
Right? You
can't automate that.
You can replace a certain amount of the system diagnosing itself, but someone's got to go change the blower. We have a 3-ton install today. It'll be a dual fuel system, so we'll get to see the nice GE Connect condenser paired along with a 45,000 BTU furnace and 3-ton coil.
Excellent. Is that going to be an 80% furnace or a 90%?
It'll be an 80% furnace.
Okay. So you've been dealing GE equipment for a little while now. What's your take on that? Because obviously GE is kind of re-jumped back into the game, right? Household name, obviously, with everything else that they got going on, but and a huge recognition of hire behind them, right?
Certainly.
So been around a long time and basically have an empire around the world. So what's your take on GE equipment right now?
Yeah, equipment in general, I never like to put it in a box. I think the installation is the most important. The most important day of a new system's life is the installation day. Really, what it boils down to is your supplier and the reliability of them. From the reliability aspect, you have the big name like GE, so it's easy to trust.
I think what I like most about GE is that they're open to hearing the feedback of, hey dude, this is wrong, this could be better, right?
So here's my thought process. This is just antiquated, right? Not a lot about these systems has changed over the last 40 years, right? So this is just it's a new way. Like, I stop and I think, if I were to design a system today, what would it look like physically, right? I don't know that I would try to copy this, right? Like, I would want to do something that's different. And so, yeah, this is copying a mini split application, but nonetheless, it's just different, right? So I really dig that. Now, is this the ultimate fix? I don't know, right? If I were to design a system, would I make it look like this? Probably not. I probably wouldn't do side discharge. I'd probably still do vertical discharge, but I think I would change the shape of the condenser for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think we're taking a book out of what the European and Asian market has done for years and years and years. The technology's only gotten better on the regular type of units. Mini split technology has gotten better as well. And so from the perspective of a homeowner that may not want to put mini splits all over their house like they have in Asia and Europe, I think this is a great option. Like you said, the technology would not be what we would choose in how most manufacturers have gone with the normal style condenser. I really like this as a play for the industry.
Yeah, it's different. And performance aside, right? Airflow aside, like, they did a really good job with just the aesthetics of this unit. Like, it just looks sexy. This matte gray color. I don't know why, but it seems like gray in general has like made this huge comeback over the last like 5 years, you know? So yeah, I don't know. It's just a sexy unit. And if you look at the GE mini splits, their gray is a little bit of a darker gray than this. And even those are sexy, as opposed to like the traditional off-white, which every brand has.
Yep, yeah, they're good-looking units, and from the homeowner's perspective, I don't know how much time this homeowner spends outside, but I'm sure a lot of the time that they're outside, they can hear that condenser run.
Oh, for sure.
And so for this, the decibel rating is close to a whisper. We could have a completely normal conversation with
and this is
system
probably
running.
A master bedroom. It's typically the way it works.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So he's just got to get the second unit upgraded.
I can't agree with you more.
Yeah, so earlier we were talking about dual fuel. and the benefits of going to a dual fuel. And here in Central Texas, furnaces are grossly oversized, right? Which causes like a lot of heat really fast, cooking the moisture right out of the air. And in the wintertime, we need moisture in the air because it's naturally dry, right? So talk about a little bit about why you like the dual fuel or the hybrid system.
Yeah, so you're sizing the system correctly to the house when you are doing a heat load calculation. And so most of the time in the summer, you're going to need a certain amount of that 3-ton or 4-ton or 5-ton capacity. With an inverter, you're able to throttle that back when necessary. It's going to be the same in the heating season. So most of the time you're going to be sized correctly for what the temperature is outside, whether it be cooling or heating. But when you need that backup heat, when it does get down to the 30-degree temperatures, you have that gas furnace. Now, that's really going to be a setting on the Ecobee itself of, most of the time we're kind of trained to say the heat pump is going to turn off when it gets below 35 degrees and your backup heat's going to pop on. This will run down to 0 degrees.
Now, is that command being sensed with a sensor or being sensed via internet on the thermostat?
That would be from the internet on the thermostat. I think they just pull the weather data from online, which is where they'll take that temperature from. So again, there's going to be a difference between the proprietary versus using a standard Ecobee, right? I think a proprietary thermostat's probably going to have a sensor in the outdoor unit where it's going to be able to sense. This is going to be more of a broad stroke. But again, we're talking about the price point difference between a system like this and what the top of the line unit offers. There's going to be some caveats that I would put on this unit about not being able to talk to each other the same way that a proprietary system does, but we're also not spending the amount of money that we would spend on a proprietary unit.
Got it. How's it going up there?
Going good. Getting the furnace installed, and I already got the coil taped up with the Plymouth, and going smoothly.
Excellent.
You don't use a rotary phone, you use a cell phone. You want news? You don't turn on an old radio, do you? Now tell me, why the are you using this? For this. It's time to stop using FaceTime in the trades to give tech support. LinkUp allows you to offer hands-free, live support to multiple technicians where you can see their tool readings in real time. They're also recorded to cover your behind, and maybe for a little training lesson or two. That, my friends, sounds like the future of field work. That is LinkUp. To ditch FaceTime, you can find LinkUp on the web at linkup.ai. We'll see you there.
How long have you been in the trade?
Yeah, 10 years now in the trade. So at first started out in refrigeration. I think it's now known as climate mechanical. And so, basically coming straight out of high school, jumping into a large commercial refrigeration company that did service, install, and new construction. So when we talk about new construction in residential HVAC and new construction in refrigeration, we're saying miles of copper ran in an HEV, a Walmart Target. Basically just a different world than anything that I had been accustomed to or even known about. So it gave me at least a leg up when we shrunk down the systems into a residential size, a lot of less wires, a lot less parts. I was very grateful to have gone through that process at the beginning of the career.
I feel like the residential side becomes very easy, right? If you can jump into something that's really hairy, like that big industrial kind of commercial type stuff.
Certainly. I think from an education standpoint, I didn't know what I was doing on the refrigeration side, and I was lucky to have managers that basically knew that I was being paid to break stuff, and that they had other people that would come fix behind me. And so, for me specifically, that's the best way that I can learn is to probably do before a certain amount of instruction. And that's also where, a certain amount of the anxiety of, not knowing what you're doing and showing up on site like you're the guy that's supposed to come and fix it.
Right.
So I think it prepared me well to shrink everything down. What I didn't understand on the refrigeration side, as it was simplified on the residential side, it made things much easier, and I picked it up very quickly. Been very lucky to be able to work alongside my father and start it really as a homegrown family business here in Austin. I'm originally from Ohio, and so part of me misses the Northeast, especially when it's 100 degrees for 100 days straight. But on the other hand, Austin's become my home as well. You know, my friends and family around me in the city have just grown, and my appreciation for the city that Austin has become has grown as well. Being in high school here and being able to see the difference in what downtown looks like from 10 years ago, I think
Sure.
has given that new appreciation. And in terms of being able to start a business here 8 years ago, the Californians really started to come here 4 or 5 years ago, and so it really brought another level of you know, clientele that we were able to serve. Thanks for joining me in the trenches. We're finishing up these GE Connect systems, dual fuel technology at its greatest. Don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.